You've probably noticed some pretty funky front sights on the World Cup this season. Some colorful ones, some unique ones, but in general, you've probably noticed some pretty tall ones. On today's episode of Biathlon University, we're going to explore why so many athletes are using sight risers, what the advantages are, and some things to be cautious of if you put sight risers on your rifle. So the simple answer as to why athletes are using sight risers is because it makes them more relaxed and more comfortable. The whole goal of shooting is to get yourself in such a relaxed position that when you just take an exhale and relax, you're aiming right at the target. And you can only do this if you have a rifle that is properly fit for you. For many athletes, when they completely relax their neck, their face smashes into the rear sight, even if the sight is moved all the way forward.
This is what happens to me with my freakishly long giraffe neck. Hit that subscribe button to make me feel better about my neck.
Now there are two solutions to this problem. The first one is you can extend the butt plate and increase the distance between the end of the rifle and the action. However, that's been known to really spread athletes out and get them in a really weird, twisted position, which is not relaxed and is not comfortable. The other solution to this problem is to raise the cheek piece. By raising the cheek piece, you can now extend your neck kind of up and out as opposed to just out and into the rear sight. So you're in a really relaxed position, but you're not looking through the sights anymore. So in order to fix this, we raise the rear sight, so that way you can see through that rear peephole. Now, if you were to leave your sights like this, you're going to be shooting off into the woods because the line that your sights are making are not parallel with the line that your barrel makes. So whatever you do to the rear sight, you also have to do to the front sight. If you raise your rear sight by 10 millimeters, you need to raise your front sight by 10 millimeters. Anytime you adjust anything on your rifle, whether it's the stock, the sight, it's gonna take a second to re-zero. So after a few magazines, you should be able to get back on, be hitting the target, and theoretically, you should be shooting better groups now that you're in a more relaxed position. I recommend any person over 5'9" or 5'10", that's about 175 centimeters for those zeros, should probably look into getting some sight risers and raising their cheek piece. The standard on-shoot stock is supposed to range from someone who's really small to someone who's really tall. So it just doesn't make sense that everyone should be using the exact same setup.
Now there is one drawback to raising the sights on your rifle. You need to make sure that you're consistent with rifle cant. I don't want to say you can't your rifle because there's plenty of athletes on the World Cup that cant their rifle every time they shoot, and they shoot pretty well. Tyrrell Eckhoff is one example. The most important thing is whatever you do, make sure you do it the same every time. If sometimes you come in to shoot and your rifle is straight up and down and other times it has a slight cant in any direction, it's going to result in a magnified miss because the distance between your sight and your barrel is magnified with the sight riser.
Now, once you have good setup and positioned, your cheek piece has been raised, you're nice and relaxed, and your sights have been raised so you can see through the sights down to the target, the next step in the process is sight alignment. So check out this video right here about sight alignment and continue on in the shooting process.